Hello and welcome back yet again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification button for some notifications on new videos that come up. So today we're going to do some production tips and talk specifically about maybe sound effects, alternating between different sounds, and something cool that you can do to make your one sample sound like it's 50 different types of samples. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. Woohoo! Don't forget we're over on Instagram at RTMA_studios. You follow, I follow. Let's link up over there. Let's chat. Any questions, tips, tricks, hints, back and forth between us. That'll be awesome. Let's engage, okay? And grow our social media together too. So, yet again, yeah, if anything is useful in this video, if you agree, disagree, don't forget to add a comment. I don't care what you say. If it's good or bad, as long as it's constructive, or as long as it, stand behind what you say. So if you think this is rubbish and you can do it better, tell me how. If you're allowed to link it in, link your stuff in. Let's go over and have a look, and we can all grow and get better, because that's the whole point of why I'm doing this, really. It's not for views, because have you seen the amount of people who are watching these? Anyway, I'll not cry. That's it. Yeah, not feeling too good recently. Anyway, so I'm using Reason 13 because I haven't upgraded to Reason 14, which is out, by the way. And what I want to do is I want to talk about the NNXT sampler and sampling in general. So if you're using a different DAW software, I'm sure it'll have similar functionality, or you'll have a sampler where you can do these kind of things. And I'm going to focus specifically today on this ALT button. If you can see down here where my arrow's clicking, ALT. I think that means alternate between sounds, and I want to show you how to use it. So first and foremost, I'm going to go to my trusty browser here, and in Reason, you can have all your shortcuts. I have a sample library where I've just collected a whole bunch of sample packs from Somatics. Oh, awesome. You've got Ghost Hack, if we can just, yep, Ghost Hack. You've got all these different packs that you can just collect over the years, and they're perfect to do what I'm doing, which is like a lot of sync music stuff and micro sync, and it covers all sorts of genres and can help you out in a bind. And of course, we've got licenses, they're all royalty free, and so on and so forth. Anyway, so what I'll do is, in Reason, I can keep this in the side, or I can keep it out. I'll keep it in the side just for now, and I'll go into FX collection, various. Okay, so imagine then we don't want to have our sound effects filling up our sequencer window. So I'm going to use a sampler, and I'm going to put multiple in there, and I want to have it random. So let's say even you could be doing a live event, or you're going to record as live on something, and you want to set yourself up for success. What you could do is, let's use Breathe. So I'll bring in Breathe 1. Ooh, right. I'm going to click off it there so it doesn't replace. I'm going to pick Breathe 2. Oh, and you can already see where I'm going with this, I'm sure, right? Get some like horror elements. Say you're scoring for a film, and you set up your kind of like sound effects. This could be useful. And then let's hear some other sounds. We've got creature. I'll go for the second one. Right. Again, I gotta click off it, or it'll replace. And who doesn't like a creepy kid laughing, eh? There we go. And what else? Ooh, I like that. There we go. Okay, so we've loaded up our NNXT sampler with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different samples. So first, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on the sample, okay, and each one I want the release to just go. Yeah, I want the release to just go, which means it'll play the whole sample. Whenever we click it once, it'll just play until the very end, which is what I want in this instance. So you can play around with this in different amounts depending on what you want. And don't forget, I'm just setting this up now, but as we play it and we use it, you start to fine tune it and tweak it to what you need specifically. But for this demo, let's put it right up so they all will play fully. Now, for each one, I want to turn the alternate, the ALT on for each one. And I'll explain what this is going to do once I get to the last one. So, if you click, if you turn on the alt, what's going to happen is every time I play this C3 note, okay, it's not going to play them all at the same time, because with them on, I don't want to play because it'll be too loud. If you play them without the alt turned on, every single sound effect will play at exactly the same time. I'm sure there's a use for that when you're, stacking layers for something, and that's fine. In this instance, because I don't want them playing all at the same time, I've put on alt. But what it's going to do is it's going to randomly, you know, play a different one of these. Now, in education, and here's an extra tip for you, right? I've had the sounds rock, scissors, and paper. I've put the sound effects in here. I've put alt on, and then you can actually play a random game. You could do it with bingo as well. So imagine you have like a whole lot of numbers, and then you could randomly hit the key. So you can set this kind of stuff up, for a bit of fun at functions. Play around with it and have fun. Because that's the whole idea. These are production tips for pretty much anything. So if you can think of a different use for it, go for it. Again, comment what other uses could you see this could be useful for, and not just scoring for film or sounds in a tune. But yeah, as I said there, in education you can set this up and have some fun with it. Anyway, so I've turned the alt on. So what will happen is if I play C3. Ooh, I'm just lightly hitting it there too. Okay, and obviously if we go up and down the keyboard, simple, right? And what gets awesome about this is you can start to do things like with the filters, the pan, the delay. So if I pan this one slightly left, randomly slightly right, maybe this one stays in the middle. This one we could go super left, and this one super right, and the middle one maybe we'll spread that out too. All right, let's see what that sounds like. Again, this is all random. And I'm not going to change the octaves or anything, because we can just go up and down the keyboard for that. And yeah, let's see how that would sound then. Nice, right? So there you go. You just hit any key, and you got yourself some nice horror sound effects. Okay, you could again live scoring with this. Sometimes if you've got like particular sounds that you want for a horror scene where someone's walking through and you want it really subtle. Imagine you have these all stacked up, but if you wanted a layer to always play behind this, like for example, let's go in and have tonal ambience, right? Or an impact, cinematic impact. So maybe we'll put this one in, right? And then what we could do is I'm going to isolate this one. So let's isolate it. Again, we're experimenting here. It's all about experimenting, right? I'm going to put that on this key specifically. All right. And then there's no impact. There we go. So I can play any key, and if I play the C3, C sharp 3, it's going to do the impact as well, and it's still going to be random for the rest of them. So if I do this, all your subtle sounds, right? And then you want a bit of an impact or specific noises along with it. See what I mean? So you can start to layer that stuff up by, yeah, pretty much doing this kind of thing. It's a lot of fun. So that's just one example. I've got a pre-made example here that I want you to hear. So imagine you've got the best sound effect ever, right? Best sound effect ever. You're well pleased. You've got this whippy stick. So if I go down to here, right? Let's see. Where is WHIPPY, right? Cartoon Capers, Music Radar. It's a really, really good one. So that's whippy stick 1, right? Sounds like this. Now, it's a variant, but it's 2 samples. But I'm saying, imagine you have only 1 sample, right? And you want to vary it. Well, you just do the same technique. You can bring it in. Okay. Each one is on, the alt is on. It's all exactly the same samples you can see here. So it's going to sound like this again, right? And then what I've done here is just change again some of the panning. You can see like that one's in the middle, this one's slightly right, this one's a bit more left, the spreads out on it as well. We've also got, did I change some of the pitch? Yep, so fine tune the pitch. So this one's slightly up in pitch, this one's slightly down, and this one's the same. So really, really subtle stuff here. As you can see, even the release is slightly played around with, yeah, for some of them. And the cool thing about this is say for example it's a cartoon and there's like a lot of quick movement. I had this cartoon, this animation where there was a rabbit running back and forward because the rabbit's supposed to be a fast runner, and it was carrying stuff, so it was going back and forward. And you know, you could sit and track it with actual samples, and that's fine too. You get like a whole collection. But for time and speed as well, I found by doing this it was easier. So I'll let you hear it. So remember, I'm not just going to hit C3. I'm going to go up and down around that range. I'm not going to go too far from C3, maybe like, you know, 5 semitones above or below. So here we go for C3. It obviously sounds the same because it's the same sample, but if you really listen to it, it's got that kind of like subtle change to each one, so it's not, your brain's not hearing exactly the same sample every time, so it doesn't sound as unnatural as, say, you know, when you hear certain snare hits. You know what I'm talking about. If you hear the snare hit, it's exactly the same. Your brain can pick that stuff up. Okay, and then obviously when we start to go up in the semitones, and it's really, really good for tracking live as well, you know. Depending on what's happening in the video. So yeah, pretty much I actually used this specifically in that video, and as I say, it worked really, really well. It didn't have to, you know, didn't have to be too detailed. And if you do want to go detailed, then you start to add kind of more layers to it, but it gives you the same idea. You know, you can really get this fancy, set it up, and then that could be your go-to for that kind of sound whenever you're looking for it. Also, it might be easier, if you're ever doing sound effects for libraries like Motion Array, Artlist, that kind of thing. You could build this up first, and then you could start to, you know, live record it for yourself, and then process them and upload them as sound effects. So that kind of thing really works quite well in these samplers. And as I say, there's a whole lot of use that you can um, have with these things, and it works really well because that's what I have been doing with a whole lot of stuff in different jobs and projects in the past. So yeah, hope that helped. If you want more in-depth details on how to actually use the NNXT sampler, yeah, please comment, let us know what you want to see, what you want to know, and I'll try my best, and we'll actually have a working demo. So thank you very much for watching, without further ado, see you later.